what are some of the reasons that emotional intimacy just begins to get challenged in a relationship?
Again, there's probably many reasons. The number one reason that comes to mind is that people stop talking to each other about how are we doing, about feelings. They get really busy. They have kids. Life happens. Again, many reasons, but they don't have that skill to know, like, you know what? It's really important for us to stay attuned to each other every single day and planning and prepping and just always in each other's care. Thank you, Dr. Stan Tatkin. It's just such a bold statement, always in each other's care. We just lose that and other things become more important.
Yeah, we stop making time for the connection between the two of us. It's like so important. We stop making time for the connection between us. And that leads to, and this again, we're still in the emotional realm, we stop being curious about each other. Like when we first got together, like I wanted to know everything about you. And we would like come home from work and we'd cook dinner together and we'd talk for hours and hours and hours. We'd sit by the pool. We'd sit out by your porch. We'd had all this time where we were just like learning about each other. And at a certain point, it's like you just stop feeding that aspect of your relationship. And that's brutal on emotional connection.
Well, to me, again, the longer you're together and or the more stressful situations you're encountering in your time together, so many emotions build up and they become big. And, our way of coping with them as a partnership is very uniquely different. And if we don't understand how our other person is coping or even how we cope, that's just going to feel really isolating.
Well, and I think that as our relationship matures, also it gets very obvious that there's a difference between the two people in their ability to understand their own emotions and have a language to communicate about them. I think at the beginning, for some reason, that's just less important, and it has a way of just balancing itself out with chemicals.
So there ties in really quickly blame. Because instead of asking for what we need, we expect that our partner knows. And when they don't know, when they don't get it right, now we're going to blame this person for, wow, I thought you were this person and you totally turned out to not be that person. And I'm so disappointed.
Yeah.
However, we didn't learn how to ask for needs. Maybe we're more passive aggressive. Maybe we're like, no, I really don't want a Valentine's Day present. And then you don't get one. And then you're like, how dare you not? Yeah. Again, that's like just like a little description of like whatever, but.
Ooh, I mean, you're talking about something that's incredibly important there. And it's the like knowing the way we want to be loved, and again, at the beginning of a relationship, a lot of times it's just happening naturally.
Yes.
But as relationship matures, it's like, we have to do some searching and we have to kind of figure out like what makes me feel loved, what makes my partner feel emotionally connected to me. So that's another reason that we get pulled apart emotionally. And then kind of in the same bucket is just, we have different needs for emotional connection. Like some people it's so important.
Yeah.
And for others, maybe they're just less attuned to it.
Well, and ask me how many times I have tried to get newly committed couples and or premarital couples into therapy. Crickets. It doesn't happen because everything's good. It only happens when couples come in and they're on the verge of breakup, separation, divorce. And we're trying to create a lot of like, how can you be proactive in relationship wellness? Because yes, things feel really good in the beginning. Yes, physical attraction's there. Yes, our sex life is great. Oh, we're always curious about each other, but things happen. And when we don't have those skills, again, everything starts to chip away and then bam, right? You had me at goodbye. It's either couples counseling or I'm finished with you. And so it just shows me that couples don't understand the amount of skills involved it takes to really have a lifelong, lasting connection with one person who's going to drive you absolutely mad and crazy.
Trigger every nerve you have in your body.
And that's what we're here to do. This is why we have our podcast. There's skills that need to be learned that most of us, I'm going to guess 99.9%, have not learned. Unless you have like a sex therapist that's like a parent, I'm not sure.
And even then, I don't know if you're gonna really be listening to it all.